The following program was supposed to have been brought to you in living color. But since most of its actors have been dead for years, it didn't seem appropriate. 2. Hello out there, Hans Conried in here. It's time once again for our weekly stroll down memory lane with a brickbat in one hand and a custard pie in the other. Isn't it amazing, really, to realize that on our program, motion picture performers who've long since gone to the great cutting room in the sky are still able to bring us laughter and happiness, and through the familiar magic of voice dubbing actually speak to us? My wife says it's like getting mail from the dead letter office. And here's our first delivery.
From Muncie State Prison in the heart of downtown Muncie, Indiana, it's the first annual Over the Wall contest, featuring some of the cleverest three-time losers in captivity. Saturday night at the Jailbreak is brought to you by
Tahitian Punch. Try a belt. The Yonkers Herald. Promise her anything, but give her a page. And the 1965 Cockroach automobile. Step on it.
This is Alcatraz inside Muncie Prison. The contest is underway, and most of the cons are walking around inside their cells thinking up clever ways to escape. This one fellow here is being watched very closely by the judges. According to their discussions, he looks like the odds-on favorite. This convict has made 12 previous attempts to crack out. He's got a hold of something now. Yes, I think we have a winner. No. In cell block 4, a visitor just walked in with a loaf of bread. Obviously, that's the old saw-in-the-cake caper. The object being to get that bread to the convict, who will use the tools inside to break out. That is, if there are tools inside the bread. Well, there were tools inside. This may be an infraction of the rules, so while they are talking it over, let us return to the studio for this important message from one of our sponsors.
Say, do you like hotcakes? Well, wait till you sink your fork into a Mother. Yes, Mother's hotcakes. The new teeny-weeny package. Drop the contents into a pan and let it go to work for you. Invite the neighbors over and relax, secure in the knowledge that there is a mother working for you in the kitchen. You'll have time to greet your guests while the good things in mothers continue to work. The little woman can relax while you are in the thick of it. Folks who eat them say,
Mother.
Mother's Hotcakes, a division of American Steel.
Here in cell block 5, this fellow got out of his cell, but his pants didn't. The judges are watching him closely because there are some keys on the floor. And if he can get his hands on them, he could be our winner. Of course, he is working under a time limit. And as time runs out, these men sometimes get quite desperate. Uh-oh. That's about as desperate as you can get on a family show. The program was brought to you by
Whitey's Car Wash.
Folks, we do have a winner. Didn't we?
You know, a panel of psychologists recently published a monograph on the inner meaning of fractured flickers. Now, they concluded that recutting old movies and making fun of them represents a subjective regression sublimation of a psycho-infantile frustration syndrome. Well, actually, it's much simpler than that. We think fractured flickers merely represents the ultimate triumph of time over talent.
Tonight, Fractured Flickers pays one tribute to a city in sunny California.
A city where rain is so rare that when it falls, it's a moving experience. A city where every citizen is dapper and poised. An informal metropolis where no one stands on ceremony. The city of angels. Los Angeles.
That wonderful, wonderful town.
This program is brought to you by Spitz, the beer that made Milwaukee jealous.
Let's get together with a glass of Spitz. Get together with Spitz.
The best way to get together with a glass of beer is with Spitz, the beer that made Milwaukee jealous simply because it spits so good. Los Angeles is a quiet town. Its ordered streets and regulated traffic, its ambling pedestrian flow, makes this Southern California city a garden of tranquility. The average Angelino is an early rising, supercharged bundle of energy who thrives on long days of toil and strenuous exercise. These enterprising dynamos of civic virtue are in large part responsible for what Los Angeles is today. Prone to do anything. Eager to start off each day on the right foot. They hop out of bed, full of get up and go, to merge into a population growing at an astounding rate. Over 30,000 new residents pour into the area each month. Far-sighted city fathers have begun to suspect this population explosion may one day result in a condition of overcrowding. Yet for Angelinos to discourage newcomers would be unthinkable.
Frank, speed it! Get ready!
Los Angeles has evolved an efficient city government consisting of a city council, untroubled by split factions or personal vanities, and a mayor, champion of sweeping reform, shown here wearing one of his many faces. Between the mayor's faction and the city council's faction, there dwells a spirit of unselfish cooperation. The effectiveness of government without internal conflict, without interfaction rivalry, is reflected in the matter of law enforcement. So strict is this activity that Angelinos never hesitate to go out into the streets at night. Not only are the citizens perfectly safe, but when a rare crime does occur, no police department in the country is more swift and sure in apprehending the criminal. And no courts in the land can mete out justice with the speed known in this city. Since it isn't easy to get around in Los Angeles, the city council recently allocated large sums of tax money to be spent experimenting with new forms of mass transport, such as this economy version of the monorail, which still has a few bugs in it, and this space-saving monowheel in regular or compact size. Equally impressive is the city's progress in controlling automotive traffic. Thanks to a unified political stand by its leaders, the Los Angeles motorists developed a new respect for traffic laws, law enforcement officers, and pedestrians as well. These streets, once plagued by fast-moving, erratic automobiles, have been made safe for everyone. Even the freeways are safe. Angelinos, aware of the hazards of high-speed travel, keep their cars in tip-top shape without any prodding from the government. These sober, courteous drivers always signal before changing lanes or making unorthodox maneuvers. Of course, with automobile traffic, there is the problem of smog caused by auto exhaust. However, LA smog reports tend to be greatly exaggerated. Visibility is seldom, if ever, affected, and smog never enters the home. Still, there are some who suspect these acid vapors may be a hazard to health. To disprove this preposterous claim, the city council polls a man in the smoggy street. These vigorous citizens, to a man, were non-committal on the question. And the council, in its infinite wisdom, agreed that the present smog control devices were adequate for the purpose. And so once again, thanks to a unified city government, man has triumphed over the problems of an ever-expanding metropolis. And we of Fractured Flicker salute you, Los Angeles, wherever you are.
One of the advantages of being the host of Fractured Flickers is the rare opportunity it gives one to meet the stars of the past at close range and to talk with them about our show. Of course, the benefits of this kind of exchange are inestimable. For example, I'm the only man in Hollywood today who's had a rock thrown at him by Billy Dove.
Who asked for it? This is the world's strongest man. Many have asked, how did he get that way? What we'd like to know is who asked for it. Was it you, Dr. Kinsey? Was it you, Genghis and Sammy Kahn? Was it John Wilkes Booth? Shirley Booth? Or was it this man with the little things in his hair? Well, whoever it was, here is the story. The strong man was playing outside this house when he was struck by lightning. This gave him superhuman strength. He was able to withstand his wife's cooking. He could even bear the impact of a 1924 impact hitting him full in the face. Not even a full-grown trolley car phased him. What is he doing today? He's appearing at the New York World's Fair, doing his strongman act, holding up two men at once. How does he do this? He doesn't. He's a phony like everything else on this crummy show.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time I would like you to share with me the pleasure of welcoming one of the world's truly glamorous women, Miss Zsa Zsa Gabor. Miss Gabor, it's wonderful to see you.
Well, I'm so happy to be here.
Now, for the next few minutes, what shall we... No, pardon me, I should have said, what will you talk about? Something not too controversial, I hope.
Well, all right, then. Let's talk about politics.
Well, ordinarily, Zsa Zsa, on a television show of this sort, politics really should be out.
All right, Hans. Then I tell you what we do. We talk about sex.
Let's try politics. Miss Gabor,
You can call me Zsa.
I may?
Yes.
Well, I'm flattered indeed, at least publicly. All right. Zsa Zsa...
Not publicly. You can call me by my first Zsa.
By the how would you say, what would be the most appealing sort of candidate for the American women?
Candidate for what?
President of the United States, I meant, as women voters.
Well, I think a bachelor.
A bachelor?
Yes, well, then you know where you stand with a man like that if you go there and ask him for some kind of favor.
Oh, you mean that his function would be sort of an Harun al-Rashid situation where ladies, as you see them, a great line of petitioners coming asking for...
You talk Hoch English.
No, the ordinary audience will not understand.
Hoch English means the highest form of English, because I don't understand everywhere.
Sometimes, my dear, I don't understand what I'm talking about. Could there possibly ever be in this country a woman president?
Well, it would be rather difficult, Hans, because I think very few women want to admit that they're over 35.
The next step, if things were as you would desire them completely, if you had your own say, could you possibly accept the office and responsibility, the august burden of being President of the United States?
Well, I must say it would be a tremendous big compliment if they would choose me as a woman president.
I'll vote for you, my dear.
Thank you, darling. I assure you I would be a good president, except there's something terrible about it.
What is that?
They say that this is a job which ages people very much. And who wants to age so far?
You never age at all. Although we can disregard that little demurrance on your part. If you were president, what would your feelings be, for instance, on the space program?
Oh, I would be terribly interested, you see, because then you can find out what kind of man lives up in the moon and other planets.
Uh-huh.
You know, you should know, one world is not enough for most.
Oh, indeed not. And you don't feel that the addition of antenna might get in your way, or anything?
I'm sure they have antennas. I think that there are some very exciting, intelligent men up there.
Really?
At least I hope.
Well, they are that intelligent to know you live upon the earth. Why would they stay on the
Ah,
moon?
what a flatterer you are. What a pity you're married.
Oh, you're thoroughly and always married. Now, have you any particular feelings that you would like to discuss at this point? Have you thought about labor situation as president?
No, I don't think I'm going to put my foot in there. Let's talk about sex.
True, but I don't think we've quite come to the end of the program, and that would bring it to an immediate conclusion. May we go now to a field in which you have some experience, I believe, as president.
Yes.
Have you any opinions about our present marriage mores, our customs, our laws of marriage?
Well, I think that all men should be married.
All men should be married.
But women should be all single.
It gives rise to rather interesting supposition. Question, I'm sure, of great moment with our many lady viewers would be your opinion as president or as Zsa Zsa Gabor, private citizen, of the greatest problem for American women.
Well, American man, of course.
For that enormity, I thank you deeply. Listen and stay safe. Thank you very much, Miss Gabor.
Hey, cowboys. All hung up because you bought a cheap tux for the big formal? Next time you're going black tie, hurry on down to your favorite clothing corral and pick up a cow tux by Western for formal wear with a true Western flavor. How's that for Western flavor, Pard? Get a cow tux today, and you can look down at the hairiest legs in the West. Yeah.
JDR writes to ask if it's true that there's big money in being the host of a television show. You can just bet your little blue booties, JDR. For example, on Fractured Flickers, I receive car fare both ways, a loan of the key to the executive washroom, and all the old film I can eat. Of course, I've got a good agent.
So that you, the American sleeper, will sleep better, we present the Fractured Flicker Dream Analysis Plan. What is this plan? How does it work? Sleepers like these simply write to Fractured Flicker. Soon afterward, one of our dream analysts will drop by and study their particular dream problems. The plan has many advantages. First, it saves the sleeper the trouble of visiting the clinic. Second, it saves the analyst from having to rent a room for the night. Yes, no longer do sleepers like these have to go to psychiatrists' offices, where they must spend hours of couch time grappling with their inner conflict. Now, for the first time, when the sleeper awakes, he awakes pleasantly, beautifully, for he is free from doubt. At last he knows the meaning of his dreams, and he can start his day gaily and with a clear direction. To demonstrate, here are some examples of the most popular dreams and the Fractured Flicker's analysis of them. The hit by a handcar dream. Our analysis, it is simply a subconscious desire to see Calvin Coolidge holding a plastic toy horse. Dream number 2, the you are in Las Vegas playing blackjack with Frank Sinatra dream. He gets angry and throws the cards at you. He is restrained by Dorothy Kilgallen and by Madame Chang Kai-shek. The analysis of this dream is that you have a star complex. Subconsciously, you want Lassie to tear away the exterior you and reveal the real you underneath. Next, there is the ever-popular water dream. Actually, you're abnormal if you don't dream this every night. You see yourself squirting with water. No matter where you go or what you do, you are utterly powerless against the water. A soaking, soggy, horrible nightmare. As you sleep, how how could you know that the analysis of this dream is that you have had a lifelong desire, a hidden craving madness to have Edward Everett Horton play the Peruvian national anthem on a saxophone over your bed as William Jennings Bryan looks on? Thousands have the traditional Pawnee Indian attack dream, which means merely that you're hung up on the old west. The most recurrent dream with children is being forced to take castor oil. This dream is the result of too many Fred Astaire movies and hidden doubts about the masculinity of Lawrence of Arabia.
Hi there.
Finally, the dream in which the Lama of Tibet runs you off the road. This means you really want to experience a Kansas cyclone. People of America, we salute you.
Hip it, hooray! Hip it, hooray! Hip it, hooray!
Wherever you are. And pleasant dreams.
Mr. R.G. of Roanoke, Virginia writes to ask, when will Fractured Flickers go off the air? What a morbid, blood-chilling question. Actually, we'll go off the air just shortly after people stop watching the show in any appreciable numbers. So you see, Mr. G, all you have to do is wait. Time will eventually cure all ills. That puts Fractured Flickers in a class with adolescence and the common cold.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is your host for the big contest, Fred Lamar.
I am reading a letter from one of the many thousands that we have received regarding the outcome of previous big contests presented throughout the past season. Perhaps you may remember, and I'm sure you don't, on Big Contest number 8, we asked you to identify the movie star standing in the crowd. Remember, this star is very famous and is holding a yellow sign. Here are a few incorrect answers we received. Practically everyone thought our mystery star was Dean Martin. Some thought it was Lassie. Others, Liz Taylor. Or Baby Leroy. The correct answer was Otis Cromwell, Jr. The only one who knew this, including Mr. Cromwell, was the big winner, Bubbles Lamar. This was her 8th straight win, even though she only entered twice. Among her prizes were TWA Airlines, the island of Bermuda, and the unsuspecting Van Cliver. In contest number 14, we asked what event were these people celebrating. The clues we gave were WW1 and Kaiser Roll. From all over the world, we received the same answer, World War I. This, of course, was incorrect. These people were celebrating the announcement of my engagement. Wow! My engagement to the popular 14-time winner, Bubbles Lamar. Among the many fantastic prizes that Mrs. Lamar won were the Mississippi River, a blank check, and Cape Canaveral. In our final big contest, we asked you to tell us what kind of an animal this man was sitting on. You all had the right answer, but the wrong address. You wrote down the word octopus, which was correct, but mailed it to Marineland. Who had the wrong answer, but the right address? Bubbles Lamar. And now I would like to make a personal statement regarding the marital troubles that Bubbles and I have been having during these past 3 weeks. As you will notice in these rare newsreel films, which I might add cost me a pretty penny to get back, you can see that Bubbles had gone bad. But fair is fair. She did win the last big contest, and I must not let my personal feelings influence me. So, Bubbles, honey, here is your prize.
Well, in the immortal words of St. George after slaying the dragon, that's enough for one night. This is Hans Conried, the sage of Ogunquit, Maine, saying good night for fractured flickers and reminding you that there's one good thing you can say about tonight's program. It's over.